Welcome back to Daily Planet Goes to Alberta. You know, when you take a driving course, you expect to learn the basics of driving responsibly and cautiously. Now imagine being taught to throw caution to the winds and drive really, really fast. I'm not kidding.
Welcome everyone to Allenberg Racing Schools.
This is where you come if you want to learn to drive fast.
Obviously, I'm Allenberg.
The instructor is world class.
I also was one of 3 Canadians to have competed in Formula One in the last 40 years.
The cars are top notch.
These are carbon fiber race cars, carbon fiber body parts, 5-speed sequential gearbox, monoshock front suspension, flat bottom chassis. Switch the ignition switch down and now push the blue start button.
Out on the track, the students get a taste of life in the fast lane. Some instruction is given in person.
Try looking, come ahead, the reason why. If you're just looking for the first coat, yeah, you can go a super fast speed.
Some over the radio.
Really would like for you to apply a little bit more brake going into turn 1.
And some is installed right on the dashboard.
There's actually more on these cars here at the racing school than what the big boys at Indianapolis have.
Motec builds sensors for professional drivers. Here, those same sensors help students identify their bad habits.
When I started racing, there weren't any computer devices to show you where you can improve your driving. If I had had the opportunity to be able to look at the data when I first started my career, I could have been a much, much better driver.
Many new drivers use their brakes when they steer.
You lose 30% of your tractive capacity and you lose all directional control.
Most of the time, students don't even know they're doing it. That's why the car is always watching the driver.
Most teams will start off at a simple level where they'll have about 10 or 12 engine sensors that monitor the engine, such as RPM, fuel mixture, temperatures, pressures, and then they'll typically have about another 8 chassis sensors, the steering, the throttle, the brakes.
In this case, it's a steering sensor, showing when and how much the steering wheel is turned. Combining that with a brake sensor uncovers every driver's mistake.
This is a funny series of turns, in that if you make a mistake early on, it probably will catch you on the 3rd turn.
Where you drive on the track is just as important as how fast you go. To record the route each driver takes, cars are equipped with GPS units.
So here you can see where the drivers took different lines going around the corner, and then we can look and find out which one was actually faster. Then we can tell the driver, you need to drive this line or that line in order to be faster.
The Motec system also incorporates an onboard camera.
Before, it was people would put a little video camera in there and they'd watch it all by itself, and then they'd go and look at the data all by itself. Well, now we're integrating the two where you can actually see the video and the data side by side. And it makes it a lot easier to understand what's happening. Here we can actually watch 2 cars side by side going around the racetrack. You can compare their steering angles and their throttle positions going down the straightaways. This is a measurement of their G-forces that they're pulling, what they're doing for brakes.
Back in the classroom, all the drivers' mistakes are laid bare.
So I got Greg as the red car and Mark as the black one. For example, going into turn 1, Mark got on the brakes earlier because his line starts before, and he got on the brakes a lot harder, which means he should be slower, and he is going into turn 1. The difference is coming out of turn 1, going into turn 2, Mark picks up the throttle, whereas Greg holds off on the throttle, and now Mark's going faster than Greg is.
Nothing gets by the sensors.
You're both downshifting into turn number 2, it looks like. Down into 3rd gear. You should hold 4th gear all the way through turn number 2. Okay? You should be doing your downshift into 3rd gear at the braking zone coming into turn number 3. You need to be in 3rd gear, braking in a straight line before you turn into turn number 3. That's the point that you need to do. Always do your downshifting in a straight line.
Between tips from the instructors and the feedback from the sensors, every student is driving a little faster by the end of the day. If they can keep that up, there just might be a professional driver in their ranks.